in our studio today for just a brief chat, Colerain Township's events coordinator, Tawanna Molter. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to find out what kinds of things we can look forward to coming up in the township, coming into spring, coming into summer. There's details that we can watch for on Circle and online, but at least this will give us an idea of what kind of activities we can look forward to.
Yes, and I can't quite say coming out of COVID yet, but things are improving, numbers are trending in the correct way, so we are cautiously moving forward with our plans for summer. And it was in January, I approached the fire department first to gauge, are we going to have a fireworks? What is the summer going to look like? And when they told me you can go ahead and plan, I wanted to go and shout from the rooftops. I was so excited because it's just that little bit of normalcy that's kind of returning. We don't know what it's going to look like because obviously, orders can change. They probably will change, especially if things continue to trend in that right direction. So we don't know what, if we're going to have to sit in circles with our family. We don't know those details yet, but we can plan, and that's really exciting.
That is exciting. We have had a year of we've had a year of cancellations and separations, and it's not completely over. We're sitting 6 feet apart in the studio here, but we can see numbers coming down. We can see vaccination numbers going up, and that means we can look forward to things instead of kind of an endless isolation time that we've had, and that's exciting.
It's very exciting.
4th of July fireworks.
Yes. So that was the first thing that I started working on. We are having fireworks again. Don't know what they're going to look like, as far as the audience goes. But when I reached out, and this was very telling and heartwarming at the same time, but kind of telling where all of us are right now. When I reached out to my restaurants, and I went to my 2019, the last year that we had them, I went to my 2019 people first. And normally when I send out requests, it takes, a few follow-ups to actually get them to say, yeah, we can do it. Yeah, we're going to be there. Within 2 hours, I had all 6 of them confirmed, ready to go. They were all so excited. So everyone is just so excited to get back to even, a smidgen of normalcy, so that has been super exciting. Our fireworks crew, because again, I've mentioned with you before, we do that all in-house. They're ready to go. They've had their first training. They're planning away. So it's going to be amazing. And just by luck, this year is on a Saturday, because we always have ours on July 3rd. So with that being on a Saturday this year, it just kind of seems perfect.
That it's a nice way to come back
to
it. And we don't know how we'll be allowed to sit yet or what the state will allow, but we know there will be food because you've got them confirmed.
Yes, we'll have food.
So what else do we need to know?
Food and fireworks.
The fireworks rehearsals have started. Your crew is training.
Yes, they are training.
We have explosions and food. So sounds like a celebration.
Exactly.
So what other things are happening besides that?
We are planning a couple different things. So our movies and concert schedule, which we obviously canceled last year, we did bring a few things back in the fall. So we had 3 movies, 1 concert that we did in the fall. Weather was very hit and miss, so we're going back to kind of that normal schedule. So we'll start with a concert and then alternate weeks with a movie and a concert from the beginning of June through the end of August. We are not doing anything on July 2nd because of the fireworks on the 3rd. So those are Fridays at Colerain Park, at the Colerain Park Amphitheater, which is 4725 Springdale Road. It's free. There's no admission. We, again, don't know what it's going to look like as far as the audience goes, but I know when we were able to have them back in the fall, everyone at this point knows we've all kind of, had that experience, and we know to stay with our groups and stay socially distanced. So we didn't have to remind anyone that. So regardless of how it looks, we'll still be able to have them and be together. And I'm excited.
if there are any Colerain residents who have not found that amphitheater yet, that is something to go look for, because it's a really nice setup. It's a really nice Friday evening. I have attended many of them, not just as Waycross crew, but also as audience members. And you can pack your picnic. You can bring a comfy chair. You can just sit on the grass on the kind of the rising steps there. And it's a really nice evening, and it's free. And you're right. I noticed this fall folks weren't that close. I think it'll be a while before maybe we're ready to get that close again. We've been separated for a long time now. So I think maybe we're okay with that little space for a while.
And if you're still uncomfortable, and I have some family members who are still uncomfortable and not sure about going out yet, you broadcast all of the concerts on Waycross. So if you're more comfortable staying at home and doing it that way, that's great too.
Absolutely. If anyone wants to watch it from home, or if anyone has grandparents that are just not comfortable being out yet, or for whatever reason, anytime that we broadcast something live, and I'm so excited to get to spend some time with our schedule and find out what's going to get put where, and that will, of course, that will come from our production truck. And that is something that we love to be able to make available. We, of course, people know we're covering the meetings in Colerain, and that's a very important part of our mission, to make sure people are connected to what government is doing. But also, I love that we can connect them to the fireworks. We can connect them to the concerts at the amphitheater there. So yes, we'll connect you to the fun stuff too. Not that the meetings aren't fun, but the even more fun stuff.
Yes, I've always joked with the other departments that we're the ones who make you happy, because we do all the fun stuff. But
it's true. If you're getting information from your department, it means something fun is coming up.
Yes,
that you want to let us know about.
Yeah, and the other departments are great, but they're usually there in a time of need or tragedy, and we're the happy ones.
So Tawanna has laid it out for you, department heads. That she maintains she has the most fun department in Colerain Township. If you would like to contest that, then let me know here at Waycross, and we can follow up with that on future programs and see how that goes.
Although I will say the fire department's rappelling is a lot of fun, but I don't.
Yes, and you know that because.
Yes, I do.
And how exactly is it that you personally are familiar with that?
Last year, when we had to kind of rethink everything that we do, we decided to do a lot of our summer camp, which we have for children in the summertime. It's a free camp that you can come to at Colerain Park. We had to kind of rethink that kind of on the fly. Like, we still need, last year was so important that we get activities out because everyone was stuck at home. So how can we program for at home? So we did a lot of videos, and part of that was we had I was one of them. We had our camp counselors, and then we even had, it kind of served a double purpose. We had our children of some of the employees. We had them rappel, which gave the fire department training, because if they ever in a rescue situation have to do that with a child, that gives them practice on not just a dummy, but a moving kit. And my kid, one of my two children, was a little nervous. So in an emergency situation is a very real possibility, and kind of gave them some of that firsthand practice. But it allowed us to do, some videos and some programming that people could watch from home and then lead to other activities that they could do from home. But this year, we're really excited to be back in person. So our summer camp this year, just with the Northwest School District calendar, we're going to go from June 1st, which we've never started quite that early. So June 1st, which is not looking at a calendar, I believe it's a Tuesday after Memorial Day. And that will run through August 6th. And we'll have weekly activities in the morning at Colerain Park for kids to enjoy. There's they love dodgeball, is their favorite activity. It's a thing. I don't get it. I hated dodgeball as a child, but my children love it. All of the camp kids love it. Maybe it's because the balls are different now. They're the gator skin, not those hard plastic things that stung. But but I digress. So they do a lot of that. They do crafts, they do other activities. They just have a lot of fun at Colerain Park. To expand, because this year we're so excited that we can like be in person again, we're going to start a traveling program. So in the afternoon, so we'll still have our normal program at Colerain Park. On Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wednesdays are field trip days. But on those 4 days, the Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, our camp counselors in the afternoon from 1 to 3 will rotate to a different park in the community to have activities at those parks. So if, we have, one of the great things at Colerain Park is the kids from the neighborhood can walk over if mom or dad are at work. But if you live next to Clipper Park, you can't do that. So we're having an afternoon program at different parks. So I have to cheat and look at my notes. Mondays will be at Skyline Park. Tuesdays will be at Clipper Park. Thursdays they'll be at Palm Park. And Fridays will be at Grisbeck Park. So we'll be able to have activities at the different parks. And, what is at the parks will also influence what is done, because Clipper Park, we've got the wonderful spray ground. So that will influence some of the activities. Palm Park, you're next door to the firehouse. So hopefully that will lead to, maybe some tours and maybe, a pickup game of basketball with some of them if they're not on a run. But, we'll be able to take things to the neighborhoods outside of just those who live next to Colerain Park. So that's really exciting too.
I love that what you had to come up with so quickly for this past year, because things were changing in the spring while you were planning camp.
Yes.
I love that while that was such a kind of quick, how can we be creative? What can we come up with? That some of those things will become new features because you did things in different neighborhoods and realized there's a whole bunch of kids that aren't adjacent to Colerain Park and that they can now have more access to this program. That's fantastic.
So it's there. You try to look on the bright side, with everything. And there are some good things that are going to come out of this as well. Yeah. And, this is one small example, but there are good things.
And most programmers are just trying to get back to the level of programming that they had before we shut things down, and you're already beyond it. I'm excited to see these kinds of things coming up this summer. Parents can start looking ahead. We're already at the time of year where we're watching school wrap down. I feel like we just got back in.
I know.
We kind of did, building-wise, but it's already towards the end. And so parents now are already thinking, great, we got them back in school. What do I do this summer? And so this is really exciting. The senior center at Colerain also had to shut down. So what do we see coming up with that?
They shut down last year when everything else shut down, but they finally were able to open their doors up. Kind of a soft opening at the very beginning of March. They let people come in, renew their memberships. And then last week, we actually opened our doors for activities. It's different. You have to register beforehand, and there are so many protocols because, again, they're our most vulnerable population. But they're open, and which is so exciting, and they're so happy to be back. But they'll do right now for a couple of weeks. They're just doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Starting at the beginning of April, that first full week of April, they will be open Monday through Friday. Shortened hours because there's more sanitizing and more cleaning and more preparation that goes into things right now. But they're open, and they are coming up with some new and exciting things, for their members. So it's kind of a fun time now.
That's really important because that's one of the things that we have talked about throughout the past year is being isolated and having a community. And that senior center in Colerain Township is a big part of some people's community.
It is.
And this summer I got to meet with some of the ladies who quilt there. And how much of a part of the community for them that is. And they're quilting for charity. Yeah. They're going to do their activities, but they're actually volunteering and serving others, which is, there's really an amazing group of seniors who are there not just to get their own entertainment and fellowship, but to see what they can do for other people. Yeah. Well, there is a lot coming up, and so we are not even going to try to do every single detail. I know you're still finalizing details for concerts and bands and things like that. Where can people go to find out what they need to know?
Go to the township's website, which is colerain.org, and you can find everything there.
And if folks want things to show up in their email, they can sign up for Circle. Circle is just the email that you decide what day you want it to show up in your mailbox.
Yep.
And there's always announcements whenever there are events coming and movie nights coming and camp signups and all of that stuff. That also gets announced on. The nice thing about that is you don't have to depend on remembering to look at the website because it shows up in your mailbox.
Yeah.
Which is very helpful for me.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming in. I'm excited to let the Colerain Township residents know there's a whole bunch of things to look forward to.
Yes, and finally good news, not just doom and gloom, which seemed like we had so much last year.
I can't wait to get to go to all of these things again. And from Waycross's perspective, we can't wait to be able to have all these things available and to go cover these things. And this will all be on our channels and on our website and all of those places too. So I'm excited about that too.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching. That means you are going to be all ready for the events that are coming up in Colerain Township. All kinds of things to look forward to now. If you want more information about any of these things and more, go to colerain.org and you'll find everything you need there.